Happy Friday, everybody. Dr. Peter Glidden, your steadfast advocate for health. How'd you like that webinar last night? 100 people. We maxed out the webinar room. We're going to have to up the ante with our technology here. We maxed out the webinar room at 100 people worldwide. We had people from, for goodness sake, Morocco, people from Cyprus, people from Hong Kong, people from South Korea, London, all over Canada, all over the United States. It was a worldwide event, the Holistic Understanding of Mental Health, Part A. This is such a vast territory. We had to lay down the foundation. Last night was a simple kind of let's just dip our toe in the water and see what's going on here from the greater perspective and give me a clue about stuff I can do right now in order to get a leg up on the situation. I'm going to have Part 2 and Part 3 about mental health, where we're going to specifically talk about things like attention deficit disorder, low-grade depression, manic depression, bipolar disease, schizophreniform, schizoaffective disorder, otherwise known as schizophrenia. I'm seeing things and I'm hearing things and I'm not happy, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But, you know, we got to start somewhere. And I'm only one man, and we only had an hour. But yet, we had fun, and as much fun as you can have when talking about things like that. Information was disseminated. People were enlightened. I think lives were changed last night. And if you missed it, what can I say? You missed it. However, being the kind-hearted souls that we are, we have archived it as well as a lot of other webinars that I've done. We have right now, I believe, 115 hours of archived health webinars, 115 hours. They're there for the asking. You know, all you need is a membership. All you need to do is become an insider in order to enjoy the fruits of my labor. Go to fireyourmdnow.com. Click on the Become an Insider button. Join us. It doesn't matter which longevity group you're in. Doesn't matter whether you're a member of longevity or not. Doesn't even matter if you know how to spell vitamin. Become an insider. Inform yourself about science-based, clinically verified alternatives to drugs and surgery delivered by licensed and regulated naturopathic physicians. And this is no BS, folks. And there's a lot of BS in the world, right? Somebody sent me an email yesterday about some doctor somewhere. I don't even know what his degrees are. I don't know if he's an MD. Although if I had to guess, I would say that he was. He just wrote a book about the dangers of calcium, telling people not to take calcium. And you can get all the calcium you need from food. And that calcium is poison and that calcium is bad. And what? You got to be flipping kidding me. I think he must live right next door to the people that still think that the earth is flat, right? The Flat Earth Society. He probably lives right next to them. And, you know, down the street from them, there's a past grand dragon of the Ku Klux Klan Society. And then down the street from them, there's someone from the Nazi Party in World War II who's hiding out, who was involved in the eugenics program. Because, you know, insanity attracts insanity. And this is one of the things that I love so much about longevity and the naturopathic medical profession, generally speaking, and longevity specifically speaking, because Dr. Wallach, the founder of longevity, the scientific medical leader of longevity, is the unrivaled superstar, the go-to person in the undiscovered territory, the undiscovered country of holistic medicine, science-based, clinically verified holistic medicine. And because of Dr. Wallach's unbelievably rich skill set, because of Dr. Wallach's unbelievably thick history with pragmatic, boots on the ground, old-fashioned research, autopsy, blood chemistries, histopathologies, that's looking at stuff under slides to figure out what's going on, looking at cell samples underneath a microscope to figure out what's going on. $25 million in 12 years of that type of research gives you a clue. So you start to see patterns, nutritional patterns, that no other physician has ever seen before, because what other physician studies stuff like this? Nobody. And then you take what you've learned under the microscope in the field, and you start to apply it with real patients, with real illnesses, and then you record what happened. You write down your findings, and so progresses science-based, clinically verified holistic medicine. Now, what do other people do? Like this knucklehead that wrote a book. Well, they'll access this research paper and that research paper, all of which, of course, remember, you can generate a research paper to say just about whatever you want, and there's a built-in bias. There's a built-in pre-existing bias to the research that's done on medical nutrition all around the world. I would vouchsafe to say that 99.99%. There are some universities that are doing research now under the guide of longevity. They're doing research under the guide of longevity, so that's the 1/1,000,000th of 1% of the research that's actually good and real and actually means something. But, you know, the research that people do with medical nutrition is based upon nothing. So you'll take 100 mice and you'll give them a boatload of calcium and you see what happens to them, having no concern for the other 89 essential nutrients that the mouse needs. Well, you know, so what happens if the mouse population was also, in addition to being deficient in calcium, were deficient in magnesium, but you didn't know that? There's a significant relationship between magnesium and calcium. What if the mice had large amounts of vitamin C in their diet and you did not know that? Well, there would be an impact there. What if the mice, you know, were from outer space and crawled inside your brain and ate it out? Well, then you'd have an MD after your name. That's, in fact, what does happen. All MDs have extraterrestrial mice inside their brain, which are eating them slowly, replacing the human genome with the mouse genome. So medical doctors are all starting to think like mice, or, more appropriately, rats. But I digress, right? I digress. It's Friday. I'm giving myself a little room. We were up late last night after the webinar. I'm just so excited to have so many people from all around the world anxious to know what we're talking about. I remember back in the day when we started the webinars, we had 7 people in the room. 7. Now we've got 100. So, you know, the times, they are a-changin'. And this is a good thing for you. It's a good thing for me. It's a good thing for longevity. It's a good thing for the world. It's a good thing for everybody in the world, because as our message propagates more and more and more and more and more people recover their health, we lessen the burden of human suffering, and if you're game, we increase your financial bottom line. We increase your net worth while you're helping other people to recover their health. Now, you got to be kidding me. This is a win-win. If anybody can show me the downside to this strategy, I'm open to hear it. There must be a downside to it, but I don't know what it is. I'm still waiting to hear it. And I'm pretty sure that the reason that you're not taught this at Wharton Business School, the reason that you're not taught this in high school, the reason that you're not taught this in community college is because the system doesn't want to breed entrepreneurs. The system wants to breed worker bees. The system doesn't want to breed queen bees. The system wants to breed worker bees, right? And, soldier bees. So we send our kids to the military, or, we send our kids to college, and when they go to college, they're told that network marketing is a Ponzi scheme, it's a pyramid scheme, it's illegal, it's nonsense, it doesn't work, it will never work, and don't go there, and it's absolutely positively a lie. Because it's not a Ponzi scheme, that's illegal. It's not a pyramid scheme, that's illegal. What it is a really great, sound business strategy, business structure, which has an unbelievably low buy-in. An unbelievably low buy-in. You can become a member of Longevity for $10. $10. It's a one-time membership fee, $10. You can build a multi-million-dollar business with a one-time $10 membership fee. You can also build a multi-million-dollar business with Longevity faster if you go all in as a CEO. And what's it cost to become a CEO? $500. What do you get for your $500 investment? $600 worth of vitamins. How the heck does that work? I don't know how that works, but that's what happens. You become a CEO with Youngevity. It's $500 one-time fee. You get a boatload of nutritional supplements that you can use to grow your business. Hey, look, I know a doctor that says you don't have to suffer with that. I'm going to invite you to this webinar, but in the meantime, I'd like you to try this little packet of vitamins. It's called Beyond Tangy Tangerine. I want you to open this up, pour it in 12 ounces of water, and drink it. And then call me 2 hours later and tell me how you feel. Here, I'd like you to take this sample of CM cream, and I want you to rub it on your arthritic knee, and then we're just going to wait here for 5 minutes. You can tell me about your kids or your grandkids, and I want you to tell me how the knee pain feels 5 minutes from now. Are you in? You want to do that? Because, look, buddy, I know a doctor that says you don't have to suffer with that, and I'm pretty sure you're being played by the pharmaceutical industry, and by the way, how's that working for you? That's all that you have to do is open your mouth. As I said yesterday or the day before, Mike Phillip stood in for me yesterday. Big shout-out to Mike Phillip up in Camrose in the great province of Alberta in Canada. They're really kicking it. They're kicking it up a notch in Alberta, ladies and gentlemen. I got to tell you, the Canadians are putting the Americans to shame. They're really embracing this message and communicating this message, like a dog with a bone. Or, like caribou with, I don't know, what do caribou eat? Moss? Canadians are coming. Look out, ladies and gentlemen. Join Youngevity. Wow, what are you waiting for? Join Youngevity and let us hold your hand and teach you the ropes. It's easy. If you can pass the driver's license test, you can be a successful Youngevity member. You don't want to become a multimillionaire. I'm okay with that. How about just getting your vitamins for free? And an extra $100, $200, $300 a month. Is that more reasonable to you? Well, whatever floats your boat, baby. I'm in. I'm all in. You should be, too. I'm Dr. Peter Glidden, your steadfast advocate for health, 866-582-9933. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It's Friday, January 17th, 2014. I'm your host, Dr. Peter Glidden. Please visit the website, fireyourmdnow.com. Increase your knowledge base. Knowledge is power. Learn what you can do to recover your health with the real deal. Science-based, clinically verified medical nutrition developed and delivered by the world's leading expert in medical nutrition, Dr. Joel Wallach. And that's what I love about Youngevity, because it works. And other people bring to the table, theories, which are based on research which has a built-in bias, and then they collect all this research and they take it to the races and they say, oh, look, it's, the sun goes around the earth. What are you, crazy? The earth is the center of the universe. It's not the sun. How could the sun be the center of the universe? You can clearly see that the sun goes around the earth. No, it doesn't. You're an idiot. Your perspective is messed up, but you don't know it. The MD's perspective is messed up, and they don't know it, which makes them dangerous people. The webinar was great last night. One thing I want to talk about before we get to the phones here, I talked about this last night, and it's worth reiterating. It's worth going over again. Selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors, that's fancy schmancy doctor talk, for a category of antidepressants, Prozac being the most famous. This category of antidepressants, selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors, mess with the cells of the body in such a way that a biochemical called serotonin lingers in the blood longer than it normally would. And when you have high levels of serotonin in the blood, you feel pretty good. The more serotonin you have, the better you feel, right? So you've got people that are depressed, and then the MDs do all of this nonsense research, and they tell people that this is the drug that they need to take in order to increase their health. Why? Because it increases the levels of serotonin in your blood, and that's a good thing. Prozac was released into the market in 1990. 4 months before that, the Food and Drug Administration took off of the market tryptophan. Tryptophan. tryptophan, which is an amino acid. It is an essential nutrient, and guess what tryptophan does? It increases the levels of serotonin in your blood. Now, why did they take tryptophan off the market? Because they said that it caused a rare disease called eosinophilia inflammatory disease, or eosinophilia myalgia disease, EMD, which is a real disease. And about 3-4 months after they took it off the market, they discovered that the disease wasn't caused by the amino acid. It was caused by a contaminant, which was in a big lot of the amino acids that was manufactured in China somewhere or whatever. But the nutritional supplement became adulterated because of bad manufacturing processes. But it was a very interesting time schedule because it was an adulterated product. It wasn't the tryptophan, and they took it off the market anyway. And then 4 months later, they released Prozac onto the market, and Prozac and tryptophan did exactly the same things. So don't you think that that's peculiar that they would do that? Oh, and by the way, 3 years later, the Food and Drug Administration issued a patent making it allowable to use tryptophan to treat the very same disease that they said it caused. You got to be kidding me. And they still kept it out of the marketplace because the Food and Drug Administration does not have your back. It is not the job of the Food and Drug Administration to protect the American consumer or the American citizen. It is the job of the Food and Drug Administration to protect the drug companies, period. So they take a harmless nutritional supplement off of the market, which does the same thing as a very expensive drug, for silly reasons, and then when the silly reasons are discovered, they maintain the prohibition of the product, and then they even say that you can use that product. Lay people can't buy the product, but doctors can use this product to treat the very same disease that they said it caused, and they still kept it off of the market for 14 years. You were not allowed access to tryptophan for 14 years because of financial skullduggery by the people that make Prozac. Oh, and by the way, for mild depression, which most people suffer from who actually get a prescription of Prozac, placebo has been proven to be more effective than Prozac. Placebo has been proven to be more effective than Prozac, and if you're not unbelievably angry at this moment in time, you're just not paying attention. You think the Food and Drug Administration has your back? Think again. They have the back of the pharmaceutical industry. And the pharmaceutical industry is the same people that committed genocide in World War II. Nobody went to jail. They traded their uniforms for business suits, and you suffer into the bargain. Ladies and gentlemen, fire your medical doctor now. Join Longevity and get a clue and get your help. 866-582-9933. That's the number to call. 855-347-3696 if you're listening to the podcast. 855-347-3696 if you're listening to the podcast. Let's go to Alabama, the Crimson Tide, baby, and see what Anthony is up to. Anthony, thanks for the phone call. You are live.
Hey, Doc. How you doing?
Pretty good, man, but I'll get better. How are you?
Fantastic. I've got a gentleman and a young lady after this one. Got a gentleman that's got high blood pressure problems, heart flutters from time to time, loose train of thought from time to time, and anxiety attacks from time to time.
Well, it's interesting that he should have all of these things because when you trace them back, this all goes back to not enough calcium, not enough magnesium, but specifically not enough calcium, eh? So the deal here is to give him the Healthy Start Pack and selenium, appropriate for body weight, and 1 or 2 extra bottles of the liquid calcium a month. Have him measure his blood pressure on a regular basis, and as the numbers start to come down, which they invariably will, he can wean off of his blood pressure meds under professional supervision, because remember, the goal here is to get people so healthy that they don't need to take prescription meds, which I know is kind of a mind-blowing statement for most people, but we do it all the time. So that's the goal here in any event, and we have to march toward it one day at a time. All right, Anthony, who's next?
All right, got a young lady that's got diabetes, has memory loss, neuropathy, bulging disc in her back, sciatic nerve damage, a lot of headaches. Had a heart attack, and they put a stent in, and her hormone is higher than the female hormone. She gets hair. She gets a lot of hair, and I think that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, well, what were the first three things that were bothering her?
Diabetes, memory loss, and neuropathy.
Yeah, so, So, of course, remember, this is Foundation Medical Nutrition for the masses, right? So,
right.
If there's a blood sugar issue, we start with the Healthy Blood Sugar Pack, right? If there's a bone or a joint issue, we start with the Healthy Bone and Joint Pack, and so forth and so on. So she's got a couple things going on here. I would just start her with the Healthy Blood Sugar Pack and some glucogel. I started with the Healthy Blood Sugar Pack and some glucogel, and of course everybody gets selenium. But it's important for people with a blood sugar issue to measure their sugars on a regular basis, because as the program kicks in and the blood sugars start to normalize and start to get better, then, well, guess what? We need to withdraw from the prescription medications appropriately. So just like the person before her that needs to measure the blood pressure, she needs to measure the blood sugar, and keep your fingers crossed.
Hey, Doc.
Yeah.
Is it correct that if your cholesterol, it's better for your cholesterol to be up rather than down?
Yes, that's correct.
The doctors have it reversed?
The doctors have it reversed. That's correct. Yeah. Our position is total cholesterol over 300 is a good goal for just about anybody. Total cholesterol over 300 is a good goal for just about anybody. Absolutely right.
Appreciate you, sir, and God bless you.
All right, Anthony. Have a great weekend. Thank you so much for the call. From Alabama to Kentucky, I guess we're staying down in the old South. Let's talk to Donna and see what's cracking. Hey, Donna, thanks for the phone call. You are live.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. What's going on?
I have several questions. I have a friend that has her lymph system is broken, and also she has mitochondria disease, and her body cannot detox. In other words, if she takes the products and her body's not able to detox, I don't know how to talk to her about this, so I'm asking you.
Well, I don't know how to talk to her about it either. I have no idea what she's talking about. Mitochondrial disease, that can be a lot of things. I'm not really sure what she's talking about. I have no idea what she means when she says her body can't detox. It sounds to me...
She has the MTHFR microtoxin.
Yeah, well, this woman, all right, so this woman is really in the belly of the beast. She's been completely brainwashed by the MDs. And that's a particular expression of a particular gene, but nobody knows what makes that particular expression of that particular gene happen. And medical doctors think that you can inherit it, but we don't think you can inherit it. We think it's something that happens because of nutritional deficiencies. This is where the real research needs to go. But my point is that this is complicated stuff, and I doubt very much that she's going to listen to us. It's so.
Well, she has mold toxin in her body.
Yeah, so, I'd move on, man. I wouldn't waste my time with a complicated thing like this. However, if she wants to dip a toe in the water, then you can tell her that she should take one bottle of the plant-derived minerals. Just give her one bottle of the plant-derived minerals. There's nothing that she could have an allergic reaction to in there. Just the plant-derived minerals, not the cherry mints. Tell her to take 1 tablespoon twice a day 1 tablespoon twice a day of the plant-derived minerals for 30 days and see if she doesn't feel better. Now, if she notices a positive change, taking 1 tablespoon of the plant-derived minerals a day, then perhaps you can enroll her in doing more. And in her case, doing more would be the anti-aging healthy start pack and selenium appropriate for body weight. But either way, she has to eliminate the 10 bad foods. And, complicated stuff like this, I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. She could call me up, I'd tell her what to do, or she could call Dr. Wallach up, he'd tell her what to do, and then she'll consult with her medical doctor. The medical doctor will tell her that, don't take those vitamins, you're going to mess everything up, and you're being, it's a shyster thing, and you're just paying for expensive urine, and it's going to be a waste of time. Yeah. So, really, move on, find somebody who really is a candidate here, because remember, not all the people got on the ark, although the doors were wide open. Only a handful of people actually got on board. It's no different here.
Longevity, but do I tell her to add this mineral, the plant mineral?
Well, if she's already taking longevity, then my recommendation would be the anti-aging healthy start pack, selenium, and plant-derived minerals. So it's 1 anti-aging healthy start pack, 2 bottles of selenium, and 1 bottle of plant-derived minerals per 100 pounds of body weight per month. That's a pretty good place to start, Donna.
All right.
Well, good luck.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, I appreciate you, too. We love Kentucky. Keep up the good work, and perhaps I'll see you on my next lecture tour. God only knows. Kentucky, right? That's where they filmed Justified. You like that show? It's one of my favorite shows, Justified. I think it's an FX show, or I don't know, AMC, FX. I get them all confused. It's with Timothy Olyphant. He plays a federal marshal in the hills of Kentucky. It's really great. If you haven't seen it, check it out. Although it's not a chick flick. It's a testosterone. It's for those of us who are testosterone affected. Let's go down to North Carolina and talk to Joyce. I guess we're on the eastern seaboard this afternoon. Hey, Joyce, thanks for the phone call. You are live.
Thank you. I have, to make a long story short, for 20 years, I've been dealing with muscle tension. Started in the shoulder, back, neck. Now it's in and out. More recently, I still have it in those areas, but my buttocks, my calves. About 8 years ago, a friend recommended DO, doctor of osteopath. And this is the first introduction I had to anything other than medical doctors. He did saliva testing, hormones. Hormones were okay at that time. But he said my adrenal glands were so depleted, the worst he's ever seen. He doesn't even know how I'm getting out of bed. Well, 3 other doctors, chiropractors and naturopaths since then have said the same thing. But I'm full of energy. I have not had a fatigued day in my life. So that's the problem, is about 4 years ago, then I'd been on standard process, supplements for at least 3 years or so. Nothing ever, helped my minerals to come up. But since that time, 4 years ago, the onset of sleep left me. I am no longer able to fall asleep on my own. Now, I can wake up at night, go to the bathroom, and go right back to bed, but I cannot fall asleep on my own, not at night or not take naps or anything like that. So my medical doctor, they all said, can't help you, you're going to have to go see a medical doctor. So my medical doctor tested my cortisol levels at that time. They were fine. So after 6 months of not sleeping, I got about 2 hours a night, 3 hours a night at the most. I went into deep depression, and anxiety hit me like a Mack truck. And that was 4 years ago. I'm still on the Remeron that helps me sleep, but I have to take a Xanax before going to bed to cut that level of energy so that I can fall asleep. And I'm just increasing dosages. I'm just getting,
Yeah, I know. It's very frustrating, isn't it? What happened to the muscle tension?
Well, what happened when I got on the Remeron, which helped me to sleep deeply, during all that time, I see that I was dreaming a lot. I would dream a lot, and it was always like stressful dreaming, not nightmares, just something stressful. And my husband has prayer requests for me for years on end, and I've always asked him, pray for my dreaming, because I wake up, I feel like I'm not rested.
Yeah.
So anyways, I'm sorry, what was your question?
The question was, what happened to your muscle tension, which was kind of the thing that kicked the whole thing off years ago?
Yes. Well, being on the Remeron relieves that muscle tension, where I'm not on it every day. You know, it used to be, I would always tell my doctors, I would get the tension in my muscles would be the worst during the night as I sleep.
Yeah,
when I woke up,
yeah.
I was so tense, I'd spend all day just relaxing the muscles, doing all that I can, massage therapy, everything I could, to go back to sleep at night and get all tense again.
Yeah, it's crazy,
so
isn't it? What about, whoa, wait, what about, or we're coming up against a break here, but I want to ask 3 questions before I do. What about heartburn, high blood pressure, or teeth? Do you have any problems in those 3 areas?
No high blood pressure, no heartburn. Did you say and teeth?
Yeah, teeth. Any problem with your teeth, like a bunch of root canals or 57 million cavities or anything like that?
Well, I did. I had 15 cavities, fillings, and I had tremendous brain fog. This
yeah, all right. So that makes me the smartest man in class. All right, good.
I've had all that removed, and my brain fog went away.
All right, stick around, Joyce. We'll be back in a second. So, all right, now I'm going to help Joyce, or as God is my witness. Stick around, folks. I'm Dr. Peter Glidden, and this is Fire Your MD Now. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Dr. Peter Glidden here, talking to Joyce from North Carolina. Joyce, are you still with me? Come in, Joyce.
Yes, I'm here.
All right, there we go. Great. All right, so first things first. All right, so you've been dealing with an issue for a long time, and the medical system has completely let you down, right?
Yes.
Okay, good. Now, and I assume, like everybody else in the United States, you're continuing to pay medical insurance premiums, right?
Yes.
All right, so this is the sticky wicket that we're in, because now the government forces us, well, they don't force us, we cannot do it and get fined, to buy medical insurance every month to gain access to a system of medicine that doesn't work. And this is the reason that we have a healthcare crisis in the United States. It's not because there's corruption in medicine. There is. It's not because it's a monopolistic system. It is. It's not because of a collusion or skullduggery going on behind the scenes, all of which exists. It's because it doesn't work. It simply doesn't work, and you've been led around by the nose for a long time.
And they don't really, and they tell me they don't know what's wrong with me. They just
ask them for their money. Ask them for your refund.
They just
ask them for your money back.
I'm an unusual case, and they don't
ask
know what
them for your money back. Write your insurance company a letter. Say, look, this is bait and switch. You conned me into thinking that these people could actually help me, and then when I needed their help, they failed. I want a refund. And I'm writing to the governor, and I'm writing to the Surgeon General, and I'm writing to the President, and I'm writing to everybody in the world, because this is BS, and I'm sick and tired, and I ain't taking it anymore. But I digress. Now, the first thing you need to consider here is the Xanax that you're taking is a benzodiazepine.
Yes.
Benzodiazepines are extremely addictive.
Yes.
Extremely. They're more addictive than heroin, or just as addictive as heroin. It's a big, bad voodoo daddy, that stuff. Honestly, now, once you start to feel better with medical nutrition, that's going to have to be your first goal is to be sleeping through the night without Remeron. The second goal is to get the heck off of the Xanax. Now, a number of the things that you're bothered by, the anxiety attacks, the inability to fall asleep, the crazy dreams, the muscle tension during night, the bad teeth, these are all related to not enough calcium and not enough minerals in the body, but specifically not enough calcium. It's a simple calcium deficiency, but it's never simple because nutrients travel in packs. And your body needs 90 essential nutrients in order to function properly. So if you don't have enough of one of them so much that it's possible to generate big, strong symptoms like you have and like you've been suffering from, then 5 will get you 10 that you have multiple nutrient deficiencies, which are slowly whittling away at the undercurrent of your health as you go further. And this is why the medications aren't working as good as they used to, because your body needs vitamins and minerals in order to make the medications work. And you're just going around and around in a downward spiral, and I'm glad that you called. So what's your current body weight?
135.
All right. So the recommendation for you for 90 days is 1 healthy start pack, 3 bottles of selenium, and 2 bottles of Beyond OsteoFX. 1 healthy start pack, 3 selenium, and 2 bottles of Beyond OsteoFX. Now, I want you to take 1 ounce of the liquid calcium 3 times a day. You're going to be taking 1 ounce of the liquid calcium, the Beyond OsteoFX, 3 times a day. Is your system okay with orange juice? Do you tolerate orange juice well?
Yes.
All right. So I'd like you to take 1 ounce of the white liquid calcium in 2 or 3 ounces of orange juice in the morning. And I'd like you to take 2 ounces of the white liquid calcium in 2 or 3 ounces of orange juice immediately before bed. 2 ounces of the white liquid calcium. Now, how'd you find out about us, Joyce?
Well, I just found out about you about 6 weeks ago, and this has been my experience with longevity. A girlfriend of mine invited me over to watch a webinar, and it's the first time I heard of you. She handed me on the way out Beyond OsteoFX, and she says, Joyce, try this. This has really calmed my system.
Yeah.
So within a week of taking OsteoFX for twice a day, I did feel more calm. I felt a calm. I felt a peace. Okay, so I thought, this is great. So I ordered me a healthy start pack because I've been listening to your show.
Joyce, we're running out of time. We're up against it. So get with the person that told you about this. Take the products the way that I recommend for 4 weeks. Call me back with a report. I wish I had more time. Thanks for the call, Joyce. Stick around, folks. Hour 2 coming up after these messages.